Looks like there's rain up ahead, like there's a crack in the heavens. Feels like my day could be turning, like I can tell that my luck's gonna change. If you could see me now, I'd probably let you down, but that's enough for me. You got me begging, baby. Looks like I'm on my knees again. Feels like the walls are closing in. Looks like I'm on my knees again. The tables have turned, like there's a change in the weather. Feels like my time is returning, like I'm about to get out of this cage. If you could see me now, I'd probably let you down, but that's enough for me. You got me begging, baby.
Shadows fall over my heart. I black out the moon. I wait for you to come around. You got me dancing in the dark. I've closed my eyes, but I won't sleep tonight. Baby, you should come with me. I'll take you to the dark side. Me and you and me. children of the night, but it's the only way of life. It's black holes pulling me inside of this black heart, the black soul underneath this black sky. Baby, you should come with me. I'll take you to the dark side. Me and you and me, do bad things in the nighttime. Baby, you should come with me, and we can kill a light, hit the light for the blackout, hit the light for the blackout. Blackbird, black moon, black sky, black light, black everything, black heart, black keys, black diamonds, blackout, black everything, black everything, all black, everything, all black, everything, all black, everything, black. Baby, you should come with me. Me and you and me. Baby, you should come with me, and we can kill a light, hit the light for that blackout, hit the light for that blackout. Blackbird, black moon, black sky, black light, black everything, black heart, black keys, black diamonds, blackout, black everything, black everything, all black, everything, all black, everything, all black, everything, black.
Hi, what's up? Hope you're having a good evening, everyone. Alright, so let's take a look at the total crypto market cap to get the night started. Alright, so for total crypto market cap, we have bearish momentum still getting weaker on the weekly, and the stochastic is also coiling up right here under the 20 zone, so I'm liking the looks of that. Looking like it's attempting to decide what major move to make next. More around the bearish control zone still on the RSI, but it's flattening out quite a bit. And very slight bearish engulfing candle this week, but so far it's just looking like consolidation going on here. For the daily, we have the first bearish momentum really building in about 3 days. Bearish engulfing candle on the daily here. Stochastic is cross bearish. And we're just entering the bearish control zone on the RSI for the daily. Bearish momentum's growing on the 4 hour. Stochastic's coiling up. Bearish control zone slightly on the RSI. And attempt at bearish engulfing on the candles here. On the 1 hour, bullish momentum getting weaker, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearishly engulfing on the candles. So, total crypto market cap could be looking nicer right now, but as many of you know that's been watching the streams, as long as we hold the low for the monthly, let's see. So ideally, we would like to see 1.5 trillion hold. But if it came down as far as about 1.7 trillion, it would still be alright as long as we form a high or low above this low that we had right here. So 1.164 trillion. Anything above that for a low on the monthly, we're still looking alright. For the monthly, we do have a little bit of bearish momentum building here as well with a bearish cross on the stochastic. So going to need to wait to see if these levels hold or if we're in for a bit more pullback. Alright, so let's see what's going on with Bitcoin here. Second month of bearish momentum building. Bearish cross on the stochastic. We're still around the bullish control zone slightly on the RSI, and I'm liking the looks of the consolidation here on the monthly. Bearish momentum's getting weaker on the weekly, stochastic's coiling up. More around the bearish control zone on the RSI for the weekly. But I'm really liking the looks of the consolidation here. It looks like it's really attempting to hold this fib level here for the weekly on Bitcoin. Tiny bit of bearish momentum here on the daily. Stochastic's crossed bearish. And we're getting pretty close to entering the bearish control zone on the RSI for the daily, but we're still neutral. And making an attempt on the daily at bearish engulfing under the fib level. Bearish momentum building on the 4 hour. Stochastic's very slightly bearish, but coiling up. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And for the 4 hour, that definitely could be looking nicer here. So, you could see that we got first the initial attempt at getting under the fib level. Here it just kind of almost touched the bottom of the fib level, and looks like there's potential for a little bit more pullback here, but we'll have to see how this develops. Bearish momentum growing, bearish control zone. On the 1 hour, bullish momentum getting weaker, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearish engulfing on the candles here. Yeah, looking a little more bearish for now, but as long as we really see these levels hold, still looking alright. For Bitcoin, ideally what I would like to see would be for 37,000 roughly to hold. If we form a high or low again above this level here, the inverse head and shoulder still won't be invalidated. Yeah, we did get overbought already after that on the 4 hour, but for the daily we haven't hit overbought or oversold conditions since that we had this inverse head and shoulders pattern here. So going to wait to see how this plays out over the next few days. Alright, so now for Ethereum. Bearish momentum continues to get weaker on the weekly. We are crossed bearish on the weekly stochastic though. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And attempting to bearishly engulf under the fib level here, but still holding on the weekly for now. A little bit of bearish momentum attempting to build on the daily. Bearish cross on the stochastic. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And yeah, same thing as the weekly. We're attempting to bearishly engulf on the candle here. 4 hour bearish momentum's growing. Bearish cross on the stochastic, but starting to coil up a little bit. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And also attempting to bearishly engulf under the fib levels on the 4 hour. Yeah, on the 1 hour we do have a little bit of bearish engulfing under the 1 hour here. Under the fib level. Bearish control zone on the RSI, bearish cross on the stochastic, and bullish momentum is getting weaker here. Yeah, pretty well everything is looking a little bit more bearish than bullish currently. And now as for XRP, we're still just bouncing around in this giant pennant that we're in here. On the weekly, bearish momentum continues to get weaker. Cross bullish on the stochastic, but starting to coil up a little bit. Yeah, bearish control zone slightly on the RSI. Just a lot of consolidation going on the candle here for the weekly. I'll check out Bitcoin right now. I just checked out the beginning of the stream, but I'll go back and check that out for you right now. So Bitcoin, bearish momentum is getting weaker on the weekly chart, and the stochastic's coiling up like it's attempting to decide what to do next for its next major move. More around the bearish control zone for the RSI here, and it's making an attempt at bearish engulfing under the fib level here, but so far it's just a lot of consolidation. Bearish momentum is starting to build on the daily, also crossed bearish on the stochastic slightly. Neutral on the RSI, but starting to get close to the bearish control zone. And on the daily, we're also bearish engulfing under the fib level here. Bearish momentum building on the 4 hour. Stochastic is coiling up, so it's attempting to decide what to do next here. Bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearish engulfing under the fib level here. 1 hour bullish momentum is getting weaker. Bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearish engulfing on the candles here. So currently Bitcoin is looking a bit more bearish than bullish. As long as we see, let's see here. As long as we see the $37,083 level hold here on this inverse head and shoulders pattern, it's still looking nice. Definitely potential for it to rally, but we really want to see that level hold on the inverse head and shoulders. If not, we could be pulling back to some lower levels here. If we do end up pulling back further, ideally what I want to see is for this high or low hold. So as long as it doesn't drop to about 30,300 roughly, as long as we don't drop below there, it's still going to be looking nice for Bitcoin. So long term, it's just been higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. We do have some monthly bearish divergence here, but overall, I don't see any sure sign that the bear market's in or anything like that. So personally, I am still a bit bullish on Bitcoin for the larger time frames. Yeah, what's up, man? Anything you guys want me to take a look for you tonight? 37,000. Let's see. Yeah, it is definitely possible that we hit 37,000. I'm just going to take a look at that inverse head and shoulders here for a second. So 37,000 would be just the lowest level that I'd like to see us stay above here for this inverse head and shoulders to still be valid. So we already did get overbought on the 4 hour time frames, but on the daily we haven't been overbought or oversold since we've formed this inverse head and shoulders pattern. So as long as we see the $37,000 level hold, it's still looking nice. And even if it does pull back further than that, we might just see a little bit of pullback before it starts to rally again. Ideally, the most important level for Bitcoin to hold is going to be about right here. So 29,300 is the last real support that I want to see truly hold on Bitcoin. Because as long as that holds, it'll just be continuous higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So definitely a nice chance that we will start to see some higher highs. But just for the bearish case, we do have some monthly bearish divergence here. So the candles are trending up, but the RSI goes from a high to a lower high. Bearish cross on the monthly for the stochastic, and bearish momentum building. So personally, I wouldn't really be surprised if we see $37,000, and potentially maybe even a little lower. But as long as we do see the inverse head and shoulders pattern hold, it's looking nice for a rally in the near future. And if it does end up breaking that support level, last support I really want to see is down here around that $29,300 level here. So I'm still liking the looks of Bitcoin on the larger time frames personally. I appreciate that a lot, man. Anything that you guys want me to take a look at for you tonight besides Bitcoin? I'll just break down XRP quick here while I wait for you guys. If there's anything you want me to take a look at for you, just let me know. So monthly bearish momentum's building, bearish cross on the stochastic for the monthly, neutral on the RSI, but XRP is in a very nice pennant right here currently. If you look right here, back during the 2017 bull run, we had an initial run up, a nice long consolidation, and then XRP went pretty near vertical. So if we see any type of price action this cycle, similar to what we seen back in 2017 on XRP, if we were to assume that this is the initial run up that we've seen here in 2017, whenever this breaks, and if we get a break to the upside, we could be looking at basically some vertical movement on XRP in a very nice rally. I wouldn't be surprised if we see $10 or more on this asset if we do get a break like that. Yeah, well, thanks for having you here, Alex, and everyone else here tonight. Got a couple of new guys in the stream so far. Appreciate having you. Yeah, if there's anything that you guys want me to check out, like I was saying, just let me know. So, smaller time frames. On the daily, bearish momentum is attempting to build, bearish cross on the stochastic, neutral on the RSI, and just a lot of consolidation here on the daily, just been in a little range here on XRP. Bearish momentum is building on the 4-hour here. Stochastic is coiled up, so it's tempting to decide what to do next here for the next little move. Neutral still on the RSI, and just a whole lot of consolidation going on in a little range here. It actually is looking like we're getting higher lows, and yeah, that would be a higher high than here as well. So higher low, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high. So it looks like there's quite a lot of accumulation going on at XRP. So I am liking the looks of that, especially the way that it's in a giant pennant right now currently. Alright, so now for Dogecoin. Bearish momentum is still getting a bit weaker. Stochastics cross slightly bearish. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And we are bearish engulfing slightly here on the weekly candle. For the daily, bearish momentum's attempting to build. Cross bearish on the stochastic. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And also slightly bearishly engulfing on the candles here. Bearish momentum building on the 4-hour. Stochastics coiling up under the 20 zone, so I'm liking the looks of that. Once we get under the 20 zone, it's more often that we get a nice bullish cross on it, but doesn't always happen. Yeah, you can see historically here, just based on all the price action going on, once we get under the 20 zone, it more often than not crosses bullish and gets a nice rally from there. So the way that we're pulled back down under this 20 zone for the stochastic, I'm liking the looks of that. Still around the bearish control zone with bearish engulfing going on the candles though. Bullish momentum getting weaker on the 1-hour, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearish engulfing on the candles here. So I wouldn't really be surprised if we do see a bit more pullback on Doge personally, but honestly this is at such a nice accumulation zone that I've been accumulating this asset for a nice little while here. So once we get under the 618 fib level, this is where I'll typically begin to accumulate an asset that I'm bullish on. The 786 fib level, I'll start to pick up heavier bags, and if we get down to the bottom of the fib extension, which in Doge's case it actually dropped below the fib extension, I accumulate very heavily at that point. So personally, I believe if we do see one more nice rally on Bitcoin or the altcoins to end this cycle, which would, if Bitcoin rallies, that will cause a nice rally for the altcoins, or even a retrace on Bitcoin, we're very likely to get a nice alt season. I think there's huge upside potential on this asset. So it would be over 5x to previous all-time highs. So just that alone, typically I'd like to aim for at least a 5-to-1 risk-reward ratio. So it's really looking nice for an accumulation zone on Doge right now. No immediate signs of reversal yet. but just for where we are for an accumulation zone on this asset, really loving the looks of it right now. And let's take a look at the other Dogecoin, Shiba Inu. Alright, bearish momentum's getting weaker on the weekly here. We are cross bearish on the stochastic still. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And very slight bearish engulfing. Attempting to get under the fib level here, but not quite yet. For the daily, bearish momentum's building here. Bearish cross on the stochastic. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And also attempting to bearishly engulf, or actually we are slightly bearishly engulfing under the fib level here. 4-hour bearish momentum's building, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearish engulfing on the candles here. 1-hour bullish momentum's getting weaker, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone not quite oversold yet, but getting close on the 1-hour RSI. And we are bearish engulfing as well, so looking a bit more bearish than bullish as well on this asset. We're definitely not at as nice of an accumulation zone as we are on Dogecoin, but we are just right at that 786 fib level, so this would be where if I'm bullish on the asset I would typically start to accumulate some larger bags. To the previous all-time high, that's about a 4x, so it's pretty close to the typical 5x that I aim for. Alright, so VVS Finance. This would be my favorite DeFi 1.0 protocol. So, DeFi 1.0 protocol, this would basically be a coin that would be used by a DEX. This was created by Kronos Chain, which is Crypto.com's DeFi chain. So, VVS's utility is this coin is used to farm other coins on the Kronos chain. So, whenever they add new coins to the farm for Kronos, we use VVS to farm those coins. So just based on an accumulation zone, we're pretty close to the bottom of the fib extension right now. And this is one coin that I'm quite bullish on personally. So it would be over a 15x to previous all-time highs so far. So just the risk-reward ratio on that alone is amazing, let alone whenever you include the utility of what this coin does. So let's see what we're looking like on the smaller time frames here. Start off with the daily and work my way down. Attempting to bearishly engulf here. We are oversold currently on the RSI, and very slight bullish divergence actually. So the candles are trending down, but the RSI goes from a low to a higher low. Looks like on the day the bearish momentum's just very slightly getting weaker. Stochastic is pretty heavily under that 20 zone and coiled up, so it's attempting what to do for its next major move here. I don't really like the looks of the bearish engulfing the most on the daily candle though. 4-hour stochastic is also coiling up like it's attempting to decide what to do next, and we're under that 20 zone I was talking about, so I do like the looks of that at least. Bearish momentum is getting weaker on the 4-hour. We do have some 4-hour bullish divergence as well, and quite a lot of consolidation going on down at these levels. Bullish momentum is getting weaker on the 1-hour, bearish cross on the stochastic. Bullish divergence on the 1-hour as well. And we do have a little bit of bearish engulfing going on the 1-hour candles though. So we are pretty close to that previous all-time low that we've seen back on January 24th. So if it did hold these levels, it would be looking like almost a large double bottom, so that would be looking nice at that point, but It is possible that there's a little bit more downside on this asset. It is starting to look like there's potential for it to reverse as well though. Bullish momentum's attempting to build again on the 1 hour here. Stochastic is still cross bearish, but the RSI was just quite oversold, and it's actually looking pretty nice. 1 hour bullish divergence, and just really heavy consolidation going on here. Looks like there's a lot of accumulation going on here currently. Yeah, overall this is definitely one of my favorite coins that I'm accumulating currently, VVS Finance. The whole point of it will be if you're using it for its utility and actually farming with it. So I wouldn't just buy this to buy and hold, but for using this to either farm more VVS or farm other coins on the Chronos chain. It's at an amazing accumulation zone, so if it does end up running, the passive income potential on this is very high. Especially whenever you consider that Chronos chain is coming out with a new coin called XVVS. So with XVVS, you actually get a percentage of all the transactions on Chronos chain, if I'm not mistaken. So the fact that VVS can be used to farm other coins on Chronos, let alone a coin that's going to give you basically a percentage of whatever Chronos chain makes off of transactions, very, very, very bullish on this asset. Plus, Crypto.com is my favorite centralized exchange, so since they made Chronos Chain and Chronos made VVS, this is one of my favorite coins currently for crypto. And I'll take a look at a couple of the NAS protocols right now quick. Alright, so Thor. Bullish momentum's getting weaker on the daily. Stochastic is slightly cross bearish right now. And we did have some daily bullish divergence here, but that got invalidated. And we are bearish engulfing currently on the daily candle. Bearish momentum's building on the 4 hour. Stochastic's coiled up. Pretty close to oversold, but not quite, so still more downside potential on the 4 hour RSI. And we're bearish engulfing on the 4 hour candle as well. Bullish momentum getting weaker on the 1 hour, bearish cross on the stochastic. Pretty close to oversold, but not quite on the 1 hour, and bearish engulfing on the candle. So Thor is currently looking more bearish than bullish. I'll definitely be keeping an eye for potential signs of reversal on this asset, but it's not really looking the greatest for Thor right now. I appreciate that, man. Like I was saying, if there's ever anything that you guys want me to check out for you, just let me know and I'll hop on it right away. I check out a couple of assets at the beginning of my stream, and then after I do my usual few, I get to whatever anyone wants in the comments. Alright, power. Bearish momentum's getting weaker on the daily. Stochastic's coiling up very significantly under the 20, so it's deciding what to do next for its next major move. We aren't quite oversold yet on the RSI, so there is still some more downside potential on the daily chart. And we are also bearishly engulfing here. Bullish momentum getting weaker on the 4 hour. Stochastic is cross bullish, but we're bearishly engulfing on the candles here. We got a little bit of bullish divergence going on the 4 hour here. Okay, so it's looking alright, but still not really looking the best, honestly. Yeah, bullish momentum's getting weaker on the 1 hour as well, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish engulfing on the candles, and bearish control zone on the RSI. Yeah, I'm feeling like this is more bearish than bullish as well. It's looking like there's potential for this to pull back further. No immediate signs of reversal yet besides that little bit of bullish divergence we have, but I like to look for more than one variable saying that it's likely to reverse. So Yeah, it definitely could be looking better. Maybe in a day or two we'll see some more information develop and we'll get a better idea of what's going to happen with power, but it's looking the same as Thor, like it's more potential for it to go down further than start to reverse here. Okay, stochastic is coiled up on the daily. The RSI definitely still has more potential to go down further. A lot of consolidation going on the daily candles here, so it's just been trading in a little range here. The 4 hours not looking great at all though so far. Bearish momentum starting to grow. Stochastic is coiling up under the 20, so that's looking at least alright. And we are actually oversold on the RSI, but we do still see some bearish engulfing going on the candles here. And compared to Thor and Power, it's kind of looking a little bit better, but I feel like all the NAS protocols are looking more bearish than bullish right now currently. Bearish momentum is getting weaker on the 1 hour MACD. Stochastic's coiling up, so attempting to decide what to do next. Tiny bit of 1 hour bullish divergence and 1 hour bearish engulfing going on still. And looks like it's holding on to its last real support here that we got down around about 1850 roughly. Yeah, so if we see this 1840, 1850 roughly level break, it's not really any support left before the very bottom on this, which was $10. So that'd be pretty close to a 50% drop. So no immediate signs of reversal going on here yet that I would really act on basically. So I'm just going to wait for more information to develop on milk and see how this plays out over the next few days. Alright, let's take a look at some stock indexes and see how those are looking today. So on the weekly, bearish momentum continues to build, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearish engulfing on the candles. Bearish momentum is getting weaker on the daily, bullish cross on the stochastic, still around the bearish control zone on the RSI, but we do actually have some daily bullish divergence here. So the candles goes from low to lower low, but the RSI goes from a low to a higher low. So I like the looks of that at least. And a lot of consolidation going on now after we've seen that bullish divergence form on the daily. Bullish momentum is getting weaker on the 4 hour. Stochastic is coiling up, so it's tempting to decide what to do next for its next major move. Neutral on the RSI, and just a lot of consolidation going on the candles at these levels. 1 hour bullish momentum getting weaker, bearish cross on the stochastic, neutral on the RSI, and bearish engulfing on the candles. Yeah, I would be waiting for more information to develop on the stock indexes currently. Or at least the Dow Jones for now. It is starting to look a lot nicer, especially on the daily chart whenever we see the daily bullish divergence here. I pretty well just want to see if this is going to start to play out and we get some bullish momentum starting to come back in. Daily bullish divergence, stochastics cross bullish. All we really need is some bullish momentum to start to build here and some bullish engulfing candles. Then we'll be looking much nicer on the Dow Jones at that point. Alright, so now the NASDAQ. Bearish momentum continues to build on the weekly. Stochastic is coiling up pretty close to the 20 zone. Bearish control zone on the RSI, and we still got more room to go to the downside if it wants to, not oversold yet. And bearish engulfing on the candle here for the week. On the daily, bearish momentum getting weaker, bullish divergence on the candles in the RSI, bullish cross on the stochastic, and just consolidation here. So same thing as the Dow Jones, I want to wait for a bit more information to develop here. If we see some bullish momentum beginning to build and some bullish engulfing candles going on between the bullish cross on the stochastic and the daily bullish divergence, we'll start to be looking much nicer at that point, but going to need to wait for a little more information to develop. Bullish momentum getting weaker on the 4 hour, stochastic is crossed bearish but starting to coil up, neutral on the RSI, and a lot of consolidation going on the candles here on the 4 hour. 1 hour, a little bit of bearish momentum beginning to build again, stochastic's coiling up, just starting to enter the bearish control zone on the RSI with bearish engulfing going on here. So small time frames looking so-so, but really just going to wait and see how these daily time frames develop. We'll either see if the continuation to the downside is going to occur here, or we'll start to see more signs of a reversal, like I was talking about with the bullish momentum beginning to build and some bullish engulfing candles here. Once we start to see that, we'll be looking much nicer for the Nasdaq as well as the Dow Jones. And I'll check out the last stock index here for the night, the S&P 500. Okay, so bearish momentum is building on the MACD for the weekly, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and slight bearish engulfing on the weekly candles here. Bearish momentum's getting weaker on the daily, bullish cross on the stochastic, daily bullish divergence, same as the other two stock indexes, and a lot of consolidation here. So same thing as I just said with the first two stock indexes, the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones. Ideally, we want to see some bullish momentum begin to build on the MACD and some bullish engulfing candles going on here, and if we see that, it will be looking much nicer. So just going to wait for information to develop on all the stock indexes, and then it'll be more actionable at that point. 4 hour, bullish momentum getting weaker, stochastic is coiling up like it's attempting to decide what to do next, neutral on the RSI, and a lot of consolidation on the candles here. And 1 hour is looking the same as the Nasdaq. Bullish momentum getting weaker, bearish cross on the stochastic, entering the bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearish engulfing here. So once we wait and see if we get the continuation of the downside or a potential reversal here, all the stock indexes are going to be much more actionable at that point. Alright, Quant. Bearish momentum is getting weaker on the weekly. Stochastic's coiling up under the 20 zone. Bearish control zone on the RSI, but flattening out and starting to get closer to neutral. And a lot of consolidation going on here on the candles for the weekly. Bullish momentum getting very slightly weaker on the daily MACD. Stochastic is coiling up a lot, so really deciding what it wants to do for the next major move here. Neutral on the RSI. And for the candles, just a whole lot of consolidation going on here. Bearish momentum getting slightly weaker on the 4 hour, stochastic's coiling up. Very neutral on the RSI, almost a perfect 50. And we're attempting to bullishly engulf slightly on the 4 hour candles. Something that I like about Quant here is this inverse head and shoulders pattern. We did not drop below the right shoulder yet. So we did get overbought on the RSI, but for the daily, we didn't get overbought or oversold yet. It's just very neutral. So it's really deciding what it wants to do here. Yeah, a lot of assets are looking like there's heavy consolidation going on here. The market really doesn't know what it wants to do for quite a lot of these assets yet. Alright, AION. This is a very high risk but high reward altcoin. Bearish momentum is getting weaker on the MACD. Stochastic coiled up, but attempting to cross bullish here. Bearish control zone on the RSI, but we do actually have some daily bullish, or some weekly bullish divergence, so that's even more significant. Alright, so bearish momentum getting weaker, stochastics attempting to cross bullish, weekly bullish divergence, so really liking the looks of that. And a lot of consolidation going on the candles here. As for the daily, bullish momentum getting weaker, bearish cross on the stochastic. Bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearishly engulfing. Bearish momentum's building on the 4-hour, bearish cross on the stochastic, but coiling up under the 20 zone, bearish control zone, and bearish engulfing. 1-hour bullish momentum getting weaker, bearish cross, and bearish engulfing on the candles here. Yeah, it is actually looking like on the smaller time frames that the inverse head and shoulders didn't get invalidated yet. So I do like the looks of that as well. Going to wait to see if the right shoulder holds here over the next few days. So as I was saying, this is extremely high risk but high reward. So I believe it's about a 8x roughly to previous all-time high, or not previous all-time highs, but the previous highs we've seen here back in May. So right here, really nice risk-reward ratio just on that previous high we've seen. But if we did end up seeing previous all-time highs on this asset, the risk-reward ratio is phenomenal on this asset. So this previous high right here was $4.4, and the previous all-time high was up around $12.40. So I believe it's something crazy like 150x or something like that to previous all-time highs. Now, definitely not saying it's hitting those levels, but if we do end up getting a rally and hitting those levels, definitely a very interesting altcoin to say the least. So the way I would play something like this would be accumulate down at these zones until it breaks 10 cents. And then once we get up to those previous highs here, I would sell about 15 to 20% of my bag to get my initial investment out. And then I would leave the rest of the bag run and see if it hits some of these higher levels. Probably sell another, probably 30% at this point, and the last 50% at previous all-time highs if it ever hit up there. Alright, Casper Labs. Bullish momentum getting weaker on the weekly. Still cross bearish on the stochastic, but starting to coil up a little. Bearish engulfing on the candles. Bearish momentum's building on the daily. Stochastic's coiled up under the 20. Quite oversold on the RSI. And just bearish engulfing on the daily candles as well. Alright, so we do still have 4-hour bullish divergence. So the candles are making lower lows. Meanwhile, the RSI goes from a low to a higher low. And potentially another higher low here. Going to wait to see how that plays out. Bullish cross on the stochastic on the 4-hour. Little bit of bearish momentum here. And we are also bearishly engulfing. Bearish momentum's building on the MACD here, bearish cross on the stochastic, oversold on the RSI currently, and bearish engulfing on the candles here. So if we can respect the bullish divergence we have here and not break below here, so if the RSI drops below here, it's definitely looking alright for potential reversal on this asset, and this is another one that I really like the risk-reward ratio on. This one definitely has more utility than AION. AION I don't believe really has any utility. Okay, so 1 hour bearish momentum building, bearish cross on the stochastic, slightly oversold on the RSI, and bearishly engulfing on the candles here. So, not too much for immediate signs of reversal on here, but the bullish divergence we have on the 4 hour is looking nice at least. So if we start to see some other coinciding variables telling us that it's likely to reverse, I would probably be looking to go long on this asset. Alright, so now on the weekly, bearish momentum is getting weaker. This would be a Alliance block. Bearish momentum getting weaker, stochastics coiled up under the 20, slightly oversold on the RSI, and we're also bearishly engulfing on the candles though. Bullish momentum getting weaker on the MACD for the daily, bearish cross on the stochastic. RSI is oversold. Yeah, it's looking more bearish on the daily here so far. The 4 hour though, a little bit of bullish momentum attempting to build back. Bullish cross on the stochastic. RSI got pretty close to oversold, now it's starting to round out a bit. And we actually do have some 4 hour bullish divergence here. So the 4 hour is looking much nicer. So yeah, that's looking nice. 4 hour bullish divergence, bullish momentum attempting to build, bullish cross on the stochastic, and it's at least making an attempt at bullish engulfing here. Bearish momentum getting weaker on the 1 hour, bullish cross on the stochastic. 1 hour bullish divergence as well, and attempting to bullishly engulf. So Alliance block is actually one of the more bullish looking cryptos currently that I've talked about tonight. And I really like the risk-reward ratio on this as well. So that would be over the 5x I typically aim for to previous all-time highs, under the 786 fib level, almost down at the bottom of the fib extension. Starting to show some signs of potential reversal. So personally I'm going to be accumulating some of this asset at these levels. Alright, so gold. Bullish momentum's building on the weekly. Stochastics coiled up, so attempting to decide what to do next. Quite overbought on the weekly RSI, but very nice bullish engulfing going on the candles, and we broke above all major resistance levels aside from previous all-time highs here. Looking like we actually do have a daily bull flag going on here. Bullish momentum is getting weaker though, and the stochastics crossed bearish, but I do like the way that we formed a higher high on this RSI here, and now it's just in a bull flag so far. Bearish momentum getting weaker on the 4 hour, bullish cross on the stochastic. I believe this is actually just slightly higher than the previous high, so there's no bearish divergence on the 4 hour, so really like the looks of that. And a lot of consolidation just going on at these levels here now. 1 hour bullish momentum getting weaker, bearish cross on the stochastic, neutral on the RSI. Very slight bearish engulfing, but just looking like more consolidation than anything here on the 1 hour. So gold is definitely one of my favorite looking assets for the larger time frames. I wouldn't really be accumulating for a long-term hold at these levels, but definitely showing a lot of potential for a rally, and if this breaks into price discovery mode, I wouldn't be surprised if we see $3,000 to $5,000 an ounce on gold personally. Alright, so now silver. Bullish momentum is building on the weekly. Bullish cross on the stochastic. Not oversold on the RSI. And very nice bullish engulfing here, which we also have a double bottom. Now, silver versus gold, we're at a much nicer accumulation zone. Typically I like to be under the 618 like I was saying, but gold is already near pretty close to the top of the fib extension, so at least versus gold, this is a much nicer accumulation zone and better risk reward ratio. Bullish momentum's getting weaker on the daily, bearish cross on the stochastic. The RSI is slightly overbought, but kind of flattening out above the overbought region. And looking like we got a little bull flag going on here on the daily too, with a lot of consolidation now. Bearish momentum's getting weaker on the 4 hour, bullish cross on the stochastic. We do have some slight bearish divergence on the 4 hour here though, so gold is looking nicer at least for that aspect. So candles are trending up, RSI goes from a high to a lower high, so that would be a bearish divergence there. I wouldn't really be surprised if we pull back and just respect around here, around for a support level, but even if we come down to this fib level and form a higher low here and form support at the fib level, still looking great for silver. And at the very least, as long as this double bottom holds and we don't break below about $21.50, silver's looking great. Okay, so for the weekly, bullish momentum's getting weaker, bearish cross on the stochastic, pretty significant 1 hour bearish divergence, so wouldn't be surprised if we do see a bit of a pullback like I was just saying. And a little bit of bearish engulfing going on the candles here. Overall on the larger time frames though, I absolutely love the looks of silver here. And yeah, it's quite a little ways, almost 2x to previous all-time highs on silver. Precious metals is much different than crypto. Crypto I like to aim for at least a 5x, but precious metals doesn't move the same way at all. So as for precious metals, definitely had a nice risk reward ratio here. Yeah, if there's nothing else you guys want me to check out for you tonight, I'll probably take a look at another asset or two and then call it a night. Alright, so bearish momentum's getting a bit weaker on the weekly here. Bearish cross on the stochastic, oversold on the RSI, but we're just consolidating here on the weekly candle. Very, very slight bearish engulfing. I like the looks of the momentum here on the daily MACD. Bullish cross on the stochastic on the daily as well. Daily bullish divergence, and we're actually bullishly engulfing, so it looks like it's attempting to form support at this fib level and now potentially run. Yeah, the 4 hour is looking great as well. Cross bullish on the stochastic. We do have a little bit of 4 hour bearish divergence here. So the candles are trending up. Meanwhile, the RSI goes from a high to a lower high, so that would be a bearish divergence there. Stochastic is still cross bullish, but the bulls are losing a bit of momentum on the 4 hour. And same thing as the 1 hour, bulls losing momentum, now bears are gaining a little momentum. Bearish cross on the stochastic. Bearish divergence on the RSI, and now we're just slightly bearishly engulfing here. Yeah, smaller time frames, I'm just going to wait to see what happens here and see what happens with the bearish divergence. But the larger time frames, I'm actually really starting to like the looks of Hex right here. bullish momentum building on the daily, that bullish cross, bullish divergence, and bullish engulfing. That's all things that I'd want to see for potentially making a long. Now, probably going to depend heavily on what happens with Bitcoin and total crypto market cap, same with any cryptos. But just based on what I'm seeing on this chart here, this is actually looking like a very nice potential zone to go long or accumulate before a potential run on this asset. We're under the 618, pretty close to the 786, that's the fib level that it's attempting to bounce off of. And let's see, yeah, quite a nice upside here. It's about I believe, pretty close to a 4x to previous all-time highs. Yeah, so Hex is one of the nicer looking cryptos so far tonight as well. Yeah, I'll check out CRV here and then I'll call it a night. Alright, weekly bearish momentum continues to grow, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearish engulfing under the 786 fib level here. Tiny bit of bullish momentum growing here on the daily, stochastic's coiled up. Bullish divergence on the, yeah, we have some bullish divergence here on the daily, so that's at least looking alright. But does look like it's attempting to bearishly engulf on the daily candle. 4 hour bearish momentum's getting weaker, bullish cross on the stochastic. Lots of consolidation going on here on the candles. And 1 hour bullish momentum getting weaker, bearish cross on the stochastic. Bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearish engulfing. Yeah, I'd definitely be waiting for more information to develop on CRV. It's not really anything actionable on this asset saying what's more likely to happen here, so just gonna wait it out and wait for more information to develop over the next few days. Alright, well I hope you all have a great night tonight, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.
And I know she'll be the death of me, at least we'll both be numb. And she'll always get the best of me, the worst is yet to come. But at least we'll both be beautiful and stay forever young. This I know, this I know.
I got $500 in cash in case they don't take Amex. She wanted to see me, so now I'm headed to the annex. Sorority house, she snuck me in. She tried to keep quiet, couldn't hold it in. I mean, the bed was too springy, the room was too dingy. You really can't blame me, I found her on Hingy. Life is a movie, but the only acting I do is acting on impulse. No stress pimples, young boy vibing. I would like to thank Tim Cook for taking out the headphone jack on the iPhones. Now we only plug it in my phone. I'm talking baby bass cyclone. Tall, dark, and handsome. I move steady, stack dubs. I am the one your new girl still loves. Negotiating a deal that'll pay me too much. My name uttered in rooms that my feet haven't touched. No, I got it. Trying to make a play, trying to make it happen. I can see my bars all up in the captions. I'm not Keith Urban, I won't put you in a song. Worldwide dawn, yeah, I feel like Shah Rukh Khan. Feel like Shah Rukh Khan. 20,000 fans on my lawn, I can never do no wrong. Yeah, world in my palms. Knew I was the greatest all along. Yeah, I feel like Shah Rukh Khan. Yeah, I feel like Shah Rukh Khan. 20,000 fans on my lawn. I can never do no wrong. Run it up from Bombay to Milan. See me when you turn your TV on. Yeah, I feel like Shah Rukh Khan. Yeah, running like a marathon. You running on a Peloton. Yeah, you standing in that same place, giving me that stank face. Hey, I hope you know I won't respond. I got Ronnie's in the back, on my way to King Street. Uber black, doing 80 in a 50. You can hear me coming way before I'm near you. Bass so loud, it shook the condo on the rear view. Yeah, I'm a big screen bunda. All I see is green, you don't see color. Yeah, and my drink real thunder. Bought another bottle for my brothers, know I got it. Trying to make a play, trying to make it happen. I can see my bars all up in the captions. I'm not Keith Urban, I won't put you in a song. Worldwide dawn, yeah, I feel like Shah Rukh Khan. Yeah, I feel like Shah Rukh Khan. 20,000 fans on my lawn, I can never do no wrong. Yeah, world in my palms. Knew I was the greatest all along. Yeah, I feel like Shah Rukh Khan. Yeah, I feel like Shah Rukh Khan. 20,000 fans on my lawn, I can never do no wrong. Running up from Bombay to Milan. See me when you turn your TV on. Yeah, I feel like Shah Rukh Khan.
Like my favorite song going round and round my head. Or just like my favorite song going round and round my head. Like my favorite song going round and round my head. 5 days on the freeway, riding shotgun with you. Yeah. 2 hearts in the fast lane, we had big dreams in blue. Yeah. Playing sweet child of mine, and I still feel that line. Where are you now? Where are you now? Hey, it's been too long ago, my love. Where did we go wrong? Too late to turn around. Where are you now? Where are you now? Hey, it's been too long. You're just like my favorite song going round, round my head. Like my favorite song going